So that's what we're talking about today, right?
Rising
Aggression.
rising aggression.
Rising aggression.
Aggression. I think that's a huge concern here because aggression has always been around. We know that, and we know the scuffles that boys have and the cat fights that the girls have. But this rising aggression is quite concerning, especially during the pandemic.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually brought this up, Jerry, because I think there are a lot of people with pent-up frustration, and this leads to rising aggression.
Absolutely.
Yep. And that's why we are talking about it today, because everybody was buzzing over the slap, the saw, the knife, and everything, especially the slap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are there different types of aggression, Dr. Jerry?
There are 4 different kinds of aggression, so we try to break it down, right? We try to be really nice and explain, some of the aggression. So the very first kind of aggression, let's start with the gentlest one, which is accidental aggression. Now, accidental aggression is not intended. It is, it is accidental. No intent to harm anyone. It's like I bump you, I walk, and I bump into you, or I lane change and I'm a bit oblivious to my surrounding, but the car behind, kind of take it personally and start honking. So my aggression would be accidental.
Don't point fingers.
But that is so strange. If I accidentally move lanes, how is that aggressive?
Yeah, because how do I know you're doing it accidentally?
That is also true.
You're doing it just to irritate me.
There, see?
Because you don't like my car, is it?
I was
You think
actually
my car is
pointing
bigger
to
than yours?
I was
might
pointing
be
to Glenn, yeah.
oblivious
Yes.
And come too close
Yeah.
to you, or to and
Yeah.
make you uncomfortable.
Plus, because I'm driving a Mercedes and you're driving a BMW, you're my rival.
Ayo, it's the
So-
Liverpool
No, I'm
thing
just
all
saying.
over
Right, so
again.
Dr. Jerry, who's the aggressor in a situation like that? Accidental aggression is the person that accidentally sways into that person's lane?
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
alright.
Wow.
And
Okay.
the one that accidentally bumps, or if I come and accidentally bump over your drink, that is accidental. A
Okay.
waiter that accidentally spills a drink onto someone, that is definitely accidental, but is accidental aggression.
What is the aggression it creates in the person that it was done to then?
Yeah. So that's the other side of it. It's not the person that is doing the accidental aggression.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how the other person reads it then is a totally different ball game altogether.
Right. But what's your stand on, sometimes to wake someone up, you need to give them a slap? Is there ever a situation where something like that is justified?
So what is your intent and what did you expect to see? Then maybe I can help you with categorizing the
Okay.
aggression.
I say this because I'm trying to trick you. Okay, because I think for some of us, we slap ourselves. I don't know whether you guys have slapped yourselves, but
Yep.
but I have slapped myself.
I have.
Before a competition or whatever, I would do it like,
To hype yourself up.
I'm not hitting my hand, I'm actually hitting my face. So I'm used to it already. Like before I spar, when I was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in order not to get crushed, right, by, my sparring partner, I'll do this to myself as, wake up!
It's like he's having a conversation on his
Yeah.
own,
It's-
right now. It's like,
What do you think about that? Or do you
Dr.
think
Jerry,
I have a
I think
problem?
he needs help.
Isn't it S&M?
A lot of help.
But it helps. Really, it does. See,
Yeah, no, it
I
does.
feel
No, it
like
does.
I'm awake now.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so I think I can stretch it and put it in instrumental aggression. Aggression that is not intended to hurt anyone, but you want to achieve an outcome.
Okay.
Sounds about right. So we have accidental and then we have instrumental, and you wanted to carry on saying something else.
Yep, so Glenn demonstrated very nicely. So, without intention or any ill intent or intention to hurt, he accidentally hurt himself. So,
Yeah.
the instrumental aggression can go quite wrong sometimes. So, instrumental aggression can be like, I want to get a title, I want to get that promotion, and I fight my way to get that promotion. Or you see, this is very common, you see people fighting over the grandfather's will or the parents' will. So they fight over something. So there is an intention to get something at the end of the day.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Wow.
So that's
Oh
okay.
my gosh, Hunger Games, instrumental aggression. Do you remember the show?
Yeah.
Wow, I
Yeah.
can't remember Hunger Games.
Is
It's
it-
on Netflix now.
Trying
Huh?
to
Yeah.
It
remember
Is it like Squid Game as well? Is that the same thing?
No.
I haven't watched Squid
Neither
Games,
have I, but it's similar.
Okay,
right?
so Hunger Games, which one though? Because there were a few. The first
As
one.
in, you're talking about the concept of Hunger Games.
Yeah.
The concept, so there is a prize at the end,
Yeah.
you know, and they have to kind of kill each other, or they have to get the prize.
They're
at
more
the end
Squid
of-
Game than Hunger Games.
Squid Games,
Yeah,
right?
Hunger Games, they were forced into it, so different. They didn't have a choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Expressive aggression was the very first thing that Glenn demonstrated to us. So he's really like a cheeky boy sometimes, right? And expressive aggression is, you know, imagine like two kids and you're playing Jenga. I'm not sure if you know Jenga. And every time you build it, the other kid kind of pushes it down. Every time you build it, the other kid pushes it down. But the kid that pushes it down is very thrilled with the smashing of the entire blocks, or like, oh my gosh, it's all over the floor now. So they express themselves in that way with no intent to hurt anyone, but they are just excited to see the outcome that they have done.
So that's still instrumental aggression.
No, that's
Oh.
expressive.
Expressive aggression. Expressive.
So what about
Expressive
the
aggression.
the guy who went out there with a sword and started, you know, hitting the cars, and in the end he tried to chop a person as well. Now that guy took some drugs and didn't know what he was doing
That
afterwards.
the drugs
went
caused
out.
the aggression.
What?
Yes.
Okay, but is
Yes.
there a term for
So-
that type of aggression?
So we look at the last type of aggression. So the first three seems pretty mild, right? The last kind is hostile aggression with the intent to hurt someone, and it can be physical, mental, verbal, and emotional. So all your passive aggressiveness, all your, passive aggression, all these are all in this category.
But that person didn't.
It's on drugs, yeah.
Yeah.
But the person's on drugs and doesn't know what they're
didn't
doing.
know he was
Yeah.
going to be hostile, probably. So would that be accidental aggression then?
No.
Because he took
You
he
took
took the
drugs.
drugs,
No,
expecting to just feel high
Yeah.
on his own, and suddenly, you know, he decided, okay, I'm going to go out with a knife.
I don't
or
think he had
sword
the
or whatever.
intent to
Yeah.
do that.
No, but he was under the influence of substances. So we look at the causes also. So for him, so if we think about it, there are the emotional causes and there are chemical causes or biological factors. So his would fall under the chemical, right? Because if we look at him, he's under the influence of substances. So any sort of substances which impair our judgment would then create a situation where we might be aggressive without realizing, but with the intention to hurt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You know what
because
I'm
it's
interested
still-
in? I'm interested in finding out what kind of drugs, you know, he was taking at that point. FD, what do you think? Because I mean, during your time,
It could be
drugs
something.
were rampant.
It could be something hallucinogenic as well
Right.
that he
It
didn't
was
know.
LSD,
It was
what,
probably
heroin,
it was probably something hallucinogenic,
Hallucinogenic, yeah,
but at
which
the
is
same
what,
time,
ecstasy.
could be.
or
Could be.
speed.
Because
or
remember, at the
LSD.
end of the day, we can call certain drugs hallucinogenics. We can call them whatever you want, but everybody responds to a drug
Differently.
differently.
Yeah.
No two people respond to a drug the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, blanket rule: don't take substances.
Yeah,
Thank
just
you.
like-
no
yeah.
For the
drugs.
children
Yeah.
that are listening in, for the parents, don't try. Don't even try. Whether it is, the drugs as we know it, whether it is alcohol, let's not try it.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who drink alcohol, and the first thing that happens to them is they become violent.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're angry drunks and
I
happy
have
drunks.
one friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's an aggressive drunk.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
aggressive.
Which is the same,
dear.
right? Being under the influence.
So what is that aggression called? Is that hostile aggression as well?
So it falls under hostile aggression, but we cannot really blame them. But that's why I don't want anyone to be taking substances and say, you can't blame me, I'm under the influence of substances.
So,
Um,
so you can't blame the guy with the sword either. I mean, we're just having a conversation. We're not judging anything. We're just wondering.
with no other evidence, right? I mean, if he had taken the substances, then he is at fault for taking those substances. And if he knows that it gives him hallucination, then he is at fault at taking those drugs and putting people at risk, knowingly. Yes, so he is knowingly. So it's not only that action of taking the sword and hitting someone, it's even before that, knowing that you're going to put people at risk,
Yeah.
and yourself at risk. He put himself at risk. He was walking across the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was such a lucky guy, man. The guy with the sword.
Sword,
He was extremely lucky.
He was
You
very,
know,
yeah.
he could be dead.
Yeah.
Right now.
He could be.
Because if he had come across, some police officers,
He could have been
quite
shot.
possibly he would have been shot.
Yeah.
But just think about it. He was lucky enough to come across that guy at the traffic light, whom he wanted to
Yeah.
Whack.
to whack and to chop, and
He missed.
somehow he missed,
Yeah.
and everyone kind of held him down. If they didn't, and this guy had just kept on going, and the
Yeah.
cops had caught up with him, and he had charged the cop,
Yeah.
he would either have been tasered or shot.
Yeah, I can discharge a fire.
So he was very, very lucky that they pinned him down
Yes.
right there.
Yes. Yeah. In a sense. Yeah.
I've got to say, Jerry, I understand hostile aggression. I understand expressive aggression, even instrumental aggression, but I don't get the accidental aggression at all. I don't get
Accidental
it.
is the simplest one. So aggression is, the act of aggression. It's accidental. It is bumping into someone. I can spill your I can come
Yeah.
over.
I didn't mean to
and
do that.
bump
Yeah.
your
But
drink.
my point is, if I spill a drink on someone, I'm not
Yes.
being aggressive. I spilled a drink. I cut into someone's lane. I'm not being aggressive. I just accidentally cut into your lane. Aggression is not even on my mind.
You're getting aggressive just talking about
You
it.
know
Yeah,
what I mean?
boy.
No. I
Come to the throne of grace,
come
man.
to the throne of grace. Yes. No, but what I'm trying to say is, it's not on my mind. So how can the word aggression be used? If it's not on my
It's
mind.
not on the perpetrator's or on the in this case the aggressor's mind, but it is perceived, or it
Yeah.
can be perceived
To the
as an
receiver.
Yeah,
aggression.
she's not talking about you
Receiver.
cutting. She's talking about the person behind.
Receiving.
So I
Yeah.
perceive it as being aggressive.
The receiver
Yeah.
The
perceives
receiver.
you as
As
being
being
aggressive,
aggressive.
Correct.
although you had no
Correct.
intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
You are just
And
clueless. You had no
therefore-
idea
Yeah.
you cut anyone.
Yeah.
Off.
So therefore, people react to it, to the
Okay.
accident, right? So
Okay.
when I was really, really young, it was a scene that I never wanted to see. But I think, girls being girls, I was in a shoe shop, they were trying on shoes. People were trying on shoes, and it was a little bit crowded. And someone stepped on another person's toes, and we can imagine how painful that is. So that lady that was stepped on, so she must have felt a lot of pain,
Yeah.
got aggressive. So the accidental aggressor had stepped on her
Yeah.
toes. She perceived it as an aggression, and she was holding a shoe,
Oh,
a
no.
new shoe, and she whacked the person's
I would probably be like that, really.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
you
probably would.
would.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see that.
And you know what? Not just me. I bet you one of us here, other than myself, may also react like that.
I
Because
wouldn't-
it's just a quick reaction, you see. Because pain
Yeah.
causes you to react. You see.
Knee-jerk
Okay,
reaction.
talking about this, a woman in a shoe shop, she's trying on shoes, her toes get stepped on. Her immediate reaction was to take the shoe and hit the perpetrator, I hate using that word, over the head with the shoe.
Yeah.
And Glenn said, yeah, I would probably do that. That would be my first reaction because it's pain. Why is someone like Glenn like that? And yet to me, I would probably go, ow, damn it, look
Yeah,
where you're walking.
Same.
No.
I
they-
wouldn't hit anyone
Yeah,
over
I-
the head.
no, you guys look like you will
why
hit
is
people
there
as
that
well.
difference
Okay,
where Glenn
excuse
would
me.
react physically, but I would just go, ow, can you look where the hell you're going?
Yeah, I would get angry, but more
Yeah.
verbally angry than physically.
So if we extract another two aggression, right? So we have the instrumental that we spoke about. There is another I. The I stands for impulsive aggression.
That's you.
Yes.
Is that what Glenn is? Is that what you're talking about? Glenn is impulsive?
Strong emotion. Yes. So if you hear him, he said the pain caused me to
Yeah.
hit out at someone, right? Strong emotions, like for Glenn was he said pain, sometimes anger. So in his mind, it triggers the response of I am under threat, I am under attack. So therefore, I'm going to retaliate immediately, and it's an immediate response to the situation.
Why am I not like that then? Because I'm not
Wait, yeah. So
physically inclined. What?
So I want to ask a question, Dr. Jerry, based on what FD just said. Why is it that some people express that kind of anger physically, i.e. Glenn, and some people would express it verbally, i.e. FD and myself?
Well, I'm going to. Glenn, why are you laughing? Oh no!
I don't know. I just can't wait. I just
Yeah.
can't wait for the answer
Yeah,
to this.
I'd love to.
I think some of us are more in tune or attuned to our emotions and can moderate it better. Now, Glenn is a very sensitive person, but he always says that, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. So he doesn't want to tune in, or he's in denial of his emotions. So when he reacts, it's usually to the emotions that are really, really strong. Yeah, and then he would react. He doesn't react. Normally, he's usually quite calm. He's quite cheeky, but he doesn't react. In many different circumstances. It's only when he feels provoked that he will react.
Under threat.
These days I go like, shut up, Glenn. Shut up. Just keep quiet.
Take a deep breath. Okay.
We do have a comment on Facebook that
Okay,
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
do.
Go ahead with the comment.
We have
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Okay, Matthew says, our society doesn't respect people, and we all have a great need for respect. So any infringement, no matter how minor or unintentional, can be perceived as disrespect. Is that why we react?
Okay, hold that thought.
Is it also something to do with disrespect? That's why we react the way we do? We see that accidental aggression and we think it's disrespect.
So it's a perception from the receiver side also, right? Yeah. So the accidental aggressor, it's a little bit more careless, a little bit more oblivious, but then the receiver might receive it wrongly and perceive it as a disrespect. But actually, it's not a disrespect.
So what do we do in a situation like that
Yeah.
to sort of calm it down and realize that the aggression that came from the so-called perpetrator is actually accidental?
And I think I saw a comment, what happens if a kid accidentally
Yeah.
hits you and cause pain? So I think it falls into this similar category. So a lot of people think that, people with disorders or children are there to hurt us and they're monsters, but they're not. They don't deliberately they deliberately hit you, but they are trying to tell us something. Sometimes we don't pause and we don't see what is going on. So for situations like that, can we then pause? Can we then think about it and say, what is this person trying to tell us? If it's not impulsive anger, if it's not, they're not under the influence of alcohol or the different substances, there should be a rationale behind it.
Okay.
But
okay.
is slapping a legit tool sometimes to wake someone up? Because I mean, once again we go back to the Oscars, right? Will Smith and Chris Rock, right? And I think I mentioned this, amongst the team when we were talking about it. So Jerry, Will Smith could have punched Chris Rock and knocked him out, but he didn't. He slapped him and then walked away. The effect is completely different, right? So when someone slaps as opposed to knocking someone else out, what does that?
It's like
what does
a
that
wake
mean
up.
to you?
It's like a wake up, not a I want to hurt
Precisely.
you.
Okay,
It's
that's
"Pia, wake up, right? I don't
Now-
like that.
Now we are analyzing the different, aggression and different behavior. But you're probably right. I don't think he intended to cause hurt. Sometimes it's the frustration aggression theory. So a lot of pent up emotions that are within the person that we want to get out, but we have no intention to hurt the other person badly. Perhaps we just want to get that anger out.
Yeah. And when people slap, is it to humiliate, to belittle? Because when we were kids, we were slapped by our parents. Maybe not on the face,
Never
but
punched,
on
right?
on the buttocks or on the on your legs or whatever.
Okay, I have a take on this, Jerry. Just listen to my take and then you comment, okay? Chris Rock, in the eyes of Will Smith, disrespected Will Smith's wife. Correct?
Okay.
Now, if I punched Chris Rock, I take him on as a man. I respect him as a man and I punch him.
Okay.
I slap you, and in America, slaps are damn
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
So you disrespect my wife, I disrespect you
Humiliate
in
you.
I humiliate you in public. That's why I feel it was a slap and not a punch. A punch would have been too respectful. A slap
Like a man.
is more disrespectful. You are less than me.
If you knock him out, it's the same effect. but
No, you've
knock
treated
him out cold.
You've treated him like a man.
Knock him out cold and then go down and go like 1, 2, 3.
Step out.
Oh, okay, you're still.
I
asleep.
think a punch is more respectful, man to man. A slap is more disrespectful,
So not on equal level.
not on equal level.
So
What
now
do you-
when FD and myself fight, he's gonna slap me. I'm gonna punch him.
What do you think, Jerry?
I think either action is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true,
but
true.
I mean,
Violence.
but his analysis of it, do you think that was what?
It is possible, but who knows exactly
Yeah.
what is going through Will Smith's head at that point in time, and what sort of anger he has. But we know it was an impulse. We know that it was an impulsive aggression that prompted him to go on stage and take on Chris Rock.
Yeah. What lah, FD? I mean, you're asking her to analyze fights now.
No, I'm
she
just
is
saying-
Geraldine Tan, not Angela Lee.
The other thing that's come up on Facebook, again with respect to this, is Dr. Jerry. This is from Prashant. Dr. Jerry, do you feel that there's a lot of displaced aggression these days when we redirect aggression to less threatening parties?
Yes, so that's the frustration, aggression that I was talking about. So frustration, aggression is when we have all that aggression within ourselves, but sometimes the object of frustration is no longer there, or we cannot reach it. So we displace it onto something else. So when the COVID hit and all of us were very restricted, there was a lot of frustration, there was a lot of pent up emotions within. Domestic violence went up. A lot of other aggression went up. Cyberbullying went up. So a lot of displaced aggression occurred over the last 2 years, even until now. Now it's coming out into the open because we are starting to come out of our homes. But the research that was done in the last couple of years really showed an increase in aggression during the COVID period.
So, how do people minimize that aggression now that things have and are opening up? Because people have not been so used to that human connection and dealing with others, and they may have pent up anger that they may take out on total strangers. So, how do people safely head out calmly?
Really good question. So that's why we're doing all the emotional awareness and creating, tuning yourself into all your senses and sensations in the body, because I think over the last 2 years, many people feel that, oh, everyone is going through it, so I shouldn't feel bad about it. So they just dismiss themselves completely and dismiss their emotions. So now we have to rework the whole thing and have them understand that their emotions are valid, and they have to look into themselves, introspect, so that they can deal with their emotions and not just cast it aside all over again.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, not that the clubs are opening up. People should go on the dance floor and express themselves.
In dance, not
In dance,
beating
yeah,
people,
in dance. Remind us never to go take you to
Yeah,
a club.
and I cannot
Yeah.
bring
No,
dancing.
you
It's
No,
gotta-
I mean, only because it's opening
you
up.
gotta
and
sit
I
somewhere
think
else. We don't know you.
Either that or go for Muay Thai classes. How about that? Right?
And Jerry, I was asking you the question, martial arts. If you feel you're a person with pent-up aggression, is martial arts one of the ways to go?
I love that question because I encourage so many young ones to go for martial arts, especially if they are aggressive. And the parents will go, really? What if they hit someone? And I say, why don't you go and experience what martial arts is all about? It's not called a discipline for nothing. And I think Glenn will be able to attest to that. It is a discipline. It teaches them discipline. It teaches them control. It allows them to know how to use your body and for what you use your body. And not just simply randomly lash out at every single soul that you see, thinking that it makes you look cool or good. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It makes you look weak, in fact, if you just simply go up and punch a person.
You know, Jerry, we've been talking about this aggression and the pandemic. I want to talk about aggression with children. I understand the pandemic has put a lot of pressure on everybody, and that does lead to aggression. But I think aggression with children started to increase a long, long time ago. And I think it started to increase with what they're exposed to on television and what they're exposed to on the internet. I think that's made aggression look cool. Do you agree? To young kids, yeah? When I was a kid, we would play Cowboys and Indians, and it would be bang bang,
And then you
Cowboys
fall over.
Indians.
you know, and then you fall over and you die.
Yeah.
Now, no. Now
Guess
I
who
will
was the
come
cowboy?
up close and I will push. I will physically push, and then you will. There's more contact.
Physical contact, yeah.
There's more contact.
I feel this is my feeling. It's television and what they see on the internet. It makes everything really, really cool. It makes violence really cool.
Even games, video games as
Even
well.
video games.
It could be the media, but it's also how we school our children, whether we stop them, whether we prevent it from happening, how we impart our values that violence is wrong and it should not be condoned. It was a great teaching moment when Will Smith, two celebrities who had a go at each other, only one had a go at the other person. But it was a great teaching moment, and the school children were talking about it. and a good debate was occurring there whether it should be occurring, not it shouldn't happen, and what can we do about it.
Yeah. But how amazing was Chris Rock
Yeah.
that he reacted
Yes.
the way he reacted,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could have easily gone the other way and
Yeah.
and hit him back or,
Yeah.
And the Oscars producer came up to actually say and compliment Chris Rock, saying that if he didn't react the way he reacted,
Yeah.
with grace and composure, the show would have been disrupted
Completely.
completely.
They
They
both
may
started
not have been
fighting.
able to carry on with the
Yeah.
with the Oscars,
With
but
the
because of
live,
how
yeah.
he reacted, they were able to carry on.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, and that is something that we always tell the children. Although they say, "Oh, so I just stand there and let the bully hit me." It's not about just letting the bully hit you. It's about how you deal
React.
with yourself, where you get your resources afterwards. And that took a lot from Chris Rock to compose himself, to be able to continue to stand there. So most of us would have reacted already, but he managed to regain his composure and complete his segment.
Yeah.
But that's with every situation, whether it involves slapping or hitting or anything. It's how you react to the situation that really shows the results, isn't it? Because, I mean, any kind of aggressor that comes up to you is looking for a reaction.
Yeah, and you control your
And
reaction.
you control the whole situation by not reacting.
There are a few things that we can do, right, to calibrate ourselves. So whether you're the receiver or whether you are the one that is perpetrating the whole aggression. So the active and passive part. So for Chris Rock, he decided to take on the passive by doing his breathing. Probably if we zoom in, we probably can see him doing that. I'm sure his heart was thumping a million miles an hour.
Yeah.
He didn't act on it. An active action would be to walk away from that situation, but he didn't do that. So there's an active or a passive choice that we can make under those circumstances. Even for the perpetrator, if you're so activated, there are two ways: active or passive. And productively active, not going up to a person and hitting a person. You can walk away from the situation. You can, not the best, but punch the wall, punch something. I don't encourage it, but that is an example of an active action that is not onto another person. Or passive. Passive, you do your deep breathing, you talk to yourself, you calm yourself down, you go to a quiet place.
All right. I think Chris Rock, after he reacted that way, won over so many more fans.
I
Yeah.
think he did.
you
I
know,
think he did.
and Will Smith certainly lost a whole bunch
Yeah.
of fans.
I
you know.
think there was an immediate reaction of 50-50. You know, a lot of people were like, oh, well done, Will Smith. The immediate
Yeah.
reaction.
My immediate
Because he
reaction was that
protected.
as well.
It was.
But you know why? It was because I didn't see it.
The whole thing.
I was
Yeah.
listening to the radio, and I think it was Charmaine.
Yeah.
Charmaine put out some entertainment news, and she said something like, "Oh, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock because
yeah.
Chris Rock made fun of Jada Pinkett's autoimmune
Alopecia.
Yeah, no,
Autoimmune
autoimmune
syndrome condition.
something like that.
Yeah.
So when you hear that, right, you go,
Straight away.
okay, look,
Yeah.
Chris Rock, right?
It's
But when you
justified.
watch it, and after listening to what Chris Rock said, like I'm going to catch GI Jane 2.
Yeah.
The feeling is different.
Yeah.
You know, immediately I went like that wasn't too bad, right?
So-
So I was immediately on Chris Rock's side then, no longer Will Smith. So I think it's also very important, that the media are very clear when they say
deliver,
these
yeah.
things.
And if the media is not involved, then not take things out of context, right?
As in the question to me.
Yes, Sherry.
But when we write it from our perspective. And the reader will read from their perspective. So
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. So it's quite
Until
tricky.
You watch the whole thing, or you see a bullying happen. If somebody claims that they are bullied, and you look at the whole scenario and you hear both sides, it might be a different perspective altogether that you would take.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so tricky, right? I mean, I'm not saying that Charmaine, gave me like fake news when I was listening in.
It was the first
Yeah.
thing that
It
came
was
out.
it was a legit report, right?
Yes,
but,
it was.
But listening to that and watching it
It's very
and
different.
hearing what he
Yeah.
actually said, two completely different things.
Yeah, because as time went along, then people were all on Chris
Yeah.
Rock's side and no longer on Will Smith's side.
Right.
So it took people some time to really get to know what the situation was.
Even Will Smith is not on Will Smith's
Yeah,
side.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I want
Moral of the story here, the whole point here is let's not jump to conclusions
Yes.
sometimes when we hear things.
Yes.
I just want to throw something in there.
Throw it.
So I'm going to go watch G.I. Jane 2. He's pointing a finger at Jada Pinkett and talking about her alopecia and her loss of hair.
No, he didn't talk about that.
It's what he was
He-
referring
re-
to.
Yeah, but he didn't
reference
talk
to-
about
He
It
that.
was
didn't
what
know.
he was
Yeah.
referring
know.
to.
You watched it,
He
no, Andy?
was. It was what he was referring to, and everybody knows it.
Right.
No, he didn't know.
That's all he said, right? He
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm looking
Wait,
forward to
let me-
G.I. Jane 2.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
That statement,
So you have to
that
fight.
joke, can it be perceived as aggression?
I think you are.
Did he know that she had alopecia though?
Yes, he
No,
did.
lah.
He did. I think
He did know.
I think
Oh, he
did.
did
I'm
know.
sure he didn't.
He did.
But at that point, he wasn't talking about the
Wait,
alopecia.
no, no.
He's
He was
talking about the
look.
hair.
I
the
just
look.
want no. That's not my point.
Well, you're not
Jerry,
fighting.
can that be perceived as aggression?
Accidental aggression or instrumental aggression?
Accidental aggression,
I don't
instrumental
think-
aggression.
I don't think it is instrumental, but when we and Shaun will be able to help me with this because you've got a lot of friends who are comedians. When they poke fun, it is expressive aggression.
It's never
So they-
aggression. It's not even
Yeah.
aggressive. What? Yeah.
But
When you
can
roast.
poke-
Yeah. Even
when you roast, then
Yeah.
you
When
say,
you roast someone, you don't roast because you are angry with that person. You roast because it's a
It's a
roast.
joke.
Yeah, but we go
Yeah.
back. We go back to what Jerry said in the beginning. It is how it is perceived.
By the person receiving
Yeah.
it.
How
But you're
it's
going to a.
Don't,
Yeah.
whatever,
Comedian.
don't play with FD.
But you're going to a stand-up
Yeah.
comedy show. You should be able to take it.
Take it.
That's what Sean's always been saying.
True.
Exactly.
But I'm at the Oscars. It's not a stand-up comedy.
Well,
show.
but stand-up
He's a
comedians
comedian.
are always on stage.
Exactly.
So
okay. So
And this was so mild compared to all the other
other
things
ones.
that we've seen. This
Yeah.
this
That's
was
why-
the
that's why-
weakest
and it's
joke.
mostly
That's why.
always a stand-up comedian who is
Yeah.
hosting these shows,
yeah,
right?
this is why
because
I
they're the only
asked,
ones that
can
can
it be
talk.
perceived as aggression? I just wanted to
So
know.
a joke is a joke. A joke is an expressive aggression that has no intention or
hurt.
ill will to hurt anyone.
Yeah. And come on, it's just alopecia. You know what? hey, just listen to me.
Oh
Look,
my
if Jada
God.
was going through chemotherapy and he did something like that, I would say that was wrong. Okay? But this,
Okay,
yes, it's an
no one
autoimmune,
else
whatever.
is
It's
any
alopecia.
other.
He just said, I'm looking forward to seeing you in G.I. Jane 2.
I'm sure
That's
he
all.
didn't even
That's
know.
all he said. He didn't even say anything else.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I don't know about
Okay.
poking fun at anyone with autoimmune, but yeah.
whatever. Anyway,
No.
he's out of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences, and I think they should
resigned.
kick Jada Pinkett Smith out as well.
She had nothing to do with this.
Because
Yes, of
she
course.
was the devil who made him do that.
Wow.
Gave him the look.
And
He
right
was
after that,
laughing, what?
boom!
Let's not pull Jada into this. This was
Why not?
No.
She's been
She-
quiet. She's the
Yeah.
cause of all of this.
no, but Glenn, you can't.
Will was laughing at the joke. Then he looked at her and,
And then he was like,
panic,
"Oh,
okay, I better go and
shoot."
do something.
God.
Yeah.
And I brought this up. It is that
She didn't even come up. He defended her. She didn't even come up to defend him.
which I think was really bad. I think that was really.
There was a guy that broke down all the body language that was going on that day as well. There's a whole video, like a 30-minute video, that broke down every single bit of body language. And the first bit that he broke down was when the comment was made, Jada actually laughed
Yeah.
for a split second and then realized what he said and then kind of pulled away and then moved her hands together inward, moved her head back,
Right.
as if to go inwards, and be
Yeah.
a little bit embarrassed by
Yeah.
what he said.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting, this video, because he broke
Yeah.
down every single body language bit of the three people that were involved.
Jada's as evil as a character in Gotham.
Oh, Fish Mooney.
Yeah, man. Right. She's just like
Is
Fish Mooney. You're
Julian
sitting down there
coming on?
just like Fish Mooney.
Is
Very
Julian
gangster.
coming on?
Julian is
Because
coming on,
we're
yes.
all-
Wait, is the time already? Oh, my
no,
goodness.
it's 46.
Yes.
It's 46.
Oh, wow. Time flies when we're with you, huh?
I
That's how-
will go with the last thing
Okay.
that I was saying.
Okay.
All right,
All
sorry
Way
about
of
that.
saying
Wrap
I don't
up.
want to be
Yeah.
here anymore.
And this one is really for Glenn now.
Uh-oh.
The greatest strength is gentleness.
Whose strength? Not his.
Are you saying I'm gentle?
No, I didn't say he's gentle. I think to give him this last proverb, the greatest strength is gentleness. And with gentleness, I shall leave. Julian, come on.
Julian, come, faster come.
Yep. And I know all of you are on leave next week, yeah?
Yes, they are,
FD
yeah.
and myself are on leave.
Yeah.
And, FD
We'll be here.
FD, Shalini, and myself, right? No.
No.
Oh, just FD and
Just
me.
a-
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
Just, you can go fight.
Yeah, you can go slap everybody.
See how I tested FD today?
Please film it.
If I was sitting next to him, he would have slapped me already. And
Probably.
he said he's not violent. See? I'm bringing out his violent side.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
He will not slap you.
Yeah.
Because he
Glenn.
was so
You're
proud.
right, Jerry.
He was so
You're
proud
right.
to say that he's not violent. Actually, everyone has
I'm
a
not.
violent streak.
No, yeah, this is
I
not-
have been
this is so
violent,
gentle.
and I will say this openly: I've been violent twice in my life, and I will never, ever
Oh.
do it again.
Ooh.
Because
That's something
it
we should
left
talk about.
me
Ooh.
with such a bitter taste in my mouth.
Of course.
Such a bitter taste. I will never do it.
Okay,
You've got
let's
too much
not
of a
do-
conscience. Lah. Anyway, okay.
Thank you,
Jerry.
Dr.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Dr. Jerry.
Take
See
care,
you the
Jerry.
week after.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.